What is up, Final Fantasy IV fans? In this video, I'll be ranking all the bosses. I just got a bunch of Diet Coke in my system. As now a resident of Utah, I have to drink Diet Coke, I guess. That's kind of a tradition here. Anyway, so I'm a little bit more hyped up than I was for my Final Fantasy III bosses video, which I recorded like 10 minutes ago. I also took my dance lessons, so maybe that helps. Anyway, I guess I'm just in a good mood now. But anyway, we go from top to bottom with these dudes, and yeah, let's rank them. So I appreciate the random order. The thing that is nice about the random order versus doing it in order is I feel like a lot of the best bosses are late game in most games, so I do like to do it in a random order to be a little less predictable. So that's my explanation. I did some of them in order, but I just think it's more fun to think more abstractly like this. So anyway, Mist Dragon is pretty much the definition. I would say B tier. This is one of the best first bosses in the Final Fantasy series. You think about it, you've got Garland from the first game. He's pretty iconic, right? We've got Sergeant from Final Fantasy 2. I mean, he's all right. I guess you can count Land Turtle. Some people count Land Turtle. Then 3 is Land Turtle, which sucks. Let's be honest. And then there's this. And then 5, we get the Wind Raptor, which is decent. It's decent. 6, I think, is contending. Yeah, I think 6 probably is the best one of the ones I can think of. 9, 10. 10 is pretty good. Anyway, what I mean to say is this is actually dang good for a first boss. I mean, I'm still putting it in B tier, but most games do not have a good first boss. Like, if you can win me over with your first boss, that's sick. Let's see. What's a couple games? Blue Dragon and Lost Odyssey slap. Those first bosses are insane, dude. Nino Kuni, Paper Mario the Origami King. Like, yeah, there's some bosses, but most first bosses are pretty mid. So, but the Mist Dragon, not too bad. I like that it turns to mist, and you have to actually be tactical. You can't just spam A like most first bosses in the Final Fantasy series. So I guess Final Fantasy 13 is a pretty decent first boss, but because paradigms are cool. Anyway, let's move on to the Magus Sisters. The Magus Sisters are actually kind of goated. I'm gonna put them in the S tier. The Magus Sisters are pretty cool. I might move them around later, but the Magus Sisters, you've got Sandy, Mindy, and Frick. What is the other one's name? That is embarrassing. Sandy, Mindy, and Cindy. That's what it is. Sandy, Mindy, and Cindy. And you got the morbidly obese one, the tall, hot one, and then the dwarf one. And then, just kidding. None of them are hot. They are all monster women, and they look weird. Anyway, but they all have different abilities, and they have the Delta attack, which is so iconic. You know what? I'm going to keep them. They'll probably be at the top S, but they are awesome. They're just great boss fights. Super memorable. Every time I get to the Tower of Saw, I'm like, sheesh, I get to fight the Magus Sisters. So that's what I'm talking about. So next we've got Barbaricia, who, I mean, she's kind of like the Mist Dragon. I'd say she's basically a better Mist Dragon. Kind of the same strat, but like actually hard, kind of. She will whoop your A in the 3D version if you don't cast slow on her, so I guess that's nice. I might move her up to A, or I might move the Mist Dragon down to C, but I think that's good for now. Okay, Calcabrina is so good. Like, bruh. Calcabrina, dang, to put them in S tier, okay, this is in terms of Final Fantasy IV. I think that if you look at it, like Calcabrina and Magus Sisters would be still like super high in general in the Final Fantasy series. But in Final Fantasy IV, I still wouldn't even say. Final Fantasy IV has some dang good bosses. Some of the best in the series, honestly. So Calcabrina, just so cool. The music is so good. It's like freaking ballet, Tchaikovsky type stuff. I think I pronounced that wrong, but who cares? And yeah, it's always fun to try to beat it before it turns into Calcabrina, but you know for sure. I mean, if you're playing the 3D version, good luck with that, unless you grind it. But then actually fighting Calcabrina, it's just so fun. Hopefully, I think I spelled that name right, Calca. I think it's spelled with an E in the original or something. Oh yes, also known as Brina. I knew it. I am a genius. Oh, Calbrina. I think that's what it was in the original version. Oh, I hate that. Anyway, sorry. Some of those older names I can't get behind. Now some of them I can. Medio sounds way cooler than Meteor, just because that's funny. But anyway, Golbez. I hate to keep putting people in S instead of S plus, but Golbez. Golbez. One of the hardest bosses in the Final Fantasy series, at least like the earlier ones. MMOs are a whole different breed, but dang Golbez, you like kill everybody in one hit, and then Raidi is like, ha ha ha, I'm old now, and then she jumps into the battle, and then it's all fun and games from there, and it's hard. This is hard as frick in the 3D version. Now I'm going to show you something which is funny. Golbez, Final Fantasy IV. If you look at his health bars, you might be a little confused. I'm sure most of you fans of Final Fantasy IV remember this, so or know this. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just crazy. Let's find the boss against him. Not him as a character in Final Fantasy IV: The After Years. Boss. There we go. Boss information. But no, not boss in general. Give me the boss of the freaking dude. Golbez. Okay, you know what? Golbez boss. FF4. Golbez boss. There we go. Final Fantasy IV 3D boss. He has 9,999 HP in the 3D version. But in the 2D version, he has 23,000 HP. So any sane person would be like, oh, he's way easier in the 2D version. I mean, 3D version. He has half the health. No. He's a pushover in the 2D version. In fact, he's really kind of boring in the 2D version. But unless they're only in the 2D version, I'm ranking the 3D version of the boss just because I always think the 3D version does a better job at the bosses just because it's more difficult. In general, just the bosses are way more difficult and way more interesting. So I'm ranking them based on 3D unless they are only in the 2D version, aka the Lunar Ruins bosses. But anyway, yeah, Golbez slaps. The music is amazing. Cecil and Rydia teaming up and having to revive everybody is just super intense. You know what? I have to move Golbez up to S+. There's no way in the right mind I'm going to put him in S. Yeah. All right, Dr. Lou Gay. I love this guy because it makes it sound like you're telling, hey, Doc, you gay. That sounded so stupid. But, like, I don't know. I used to always... Even at school, instead of saying gay, you know how all the kids just have to call everything gay? I used to call things Dr. Lou Gay all the time, and it was so dumb. Just imagine how bullied you would get in 6th grade if you went around saying Dr. Lou Gay. I'm lucky nobody was really listening. I think they just heard gay and thought I was cool or something. But anyway, Dr. Lou Gay will go in the A tier. I like this guy. He's evil as heck. He killed Edge's parents, and that just makes you hate him. And he has a cool robot, and then he has a cool second robot, and he has a cool, I don't know though. I think on paper I would be like, oh yeah, that's going to be one of the coolest boss fights in the game, but in practice he's not quite as cool. But yeah. All right, Rubicante is one of those, another intense boss fight in the game. Not nearly as intense as Golbez, but bro, when he has his cape risen, that's kind of scary. So, but the thing is, ninjutsu makes it pretty easy if you know what you're doing. So, it is cheesable. I know you don't have to cheese it, so that's why. But in terms of just the fact that he is a fire enemy and you're using Edge in your party, you'll probably think to use ninjutsu. It's not exactly the most original thought, and then he just dies like way too easily. So, I'm not going to throw him up in like S, even though I think he is a more intense boss battle than these two. These are more like strategy based. This is more like active time battle. Actually kind of using that action type turn-based battle system to a T. But yeah, Rubicante is good. Asura. Did I really spell that wrong? Maybe that's right. Oh, that is right. Okay. I don't know why I always call it Ashura when it's literally Asura. So, we'll put that in C. She just like heals herself. You can cast Reflect on her. She heals your party over and over again, and it's so funny how easy this boss can be. It's pretty boring. I've never thought. I mean, even if she is healing herself, she just heals herself so much anyway that she doesn't really do anything else. So I'm gonna put her in D. Actually, that's a lame boss fight. Leviathan. Gonna go at the top A so far. This one is crazy intense in the 3D version. Tsunami will own you if you don't fight this guy fast enough. I was like focusing, darknessing, upgrading with lightning attacks to a crazy degree. Like, this is definitely. Oh, I was about to say this is the best Leviathan fight, but then I remember FF15 exists. This still might be. I think this one's better, honestly. FF5 is pretty good too, though. I mean, FF15 is a cinematic masterpiece, but it's not nearly as intense as this. FF15 is just way too easy, so there's that. Demon Wall. Oh, I love this thing. I love bosses that are just a huge health bar and don't really do anything else. I know that's so goofy, but like, I just love bosses that you just have to hit like a billion times. I love like 2 hour long boss fights. Am I crazy for that? Oh, I know I am. I know I'm crazy, but I'm going to put Demon Wall right there. I think I want to move Leviathan up just because of how intense that fight was. It's awesome. All right, 4 Fiends going straight to the top. I mean, you're taking 4 of the most iconic boss fights in this game. 4 amazing boss fights. We haven't got to my... Barbaria and Rubicante aren't as... Oh, but Rubicante's got a good story. Huh. No, but he's too cheesable. I remember that. What is it with 4 Fiends and the last one always being so easy? Like in the first game, you can just literally insta-death Tiamat. In this one, you can just use ninjutsu. I guess there's not really... I think those are the only 2 games with 4 Fiends. So I don't really know what I'm saying. But in the games that there are 4 Fiends, they're way too easy. Oh, I guess if you count FF3, Titan is so easy, even though Salamander, Kraken, and whatever the other frick... the Jin is easy. But anyway, what I mean to say is the 4 Fiends, you're adding 4 of the best boss fights in the game together. Of course it's going to be up there. I mean, Golbez is awesome, but I mean, it's hard to compete. General and Baron soldiers. Yeah, that's going in the E tier, bro. Is that the worst? There has to be something in the F tier. There has to be something in the F tier. Yeah, that's gonna go in the F tier. Chilling. Yeah. It's literally a dude and 2 soldiers. 3 soldiers? 2 or 3 soldiers. There's not more than 3. General and a couple soldiers. You beat their A with your dang sword. Probably don't even have to heal or use any magic. I mean, you can't use magic accessible. It's so easy, though. Like, what the frick? Okay, CPU. Oh, yeah. I love this guy. I feel like I have to throw Calcabrina up. No. Okay. I have a sentimental attachment to CPU. So I'm going to throw it up in the S plus tier. You know what? I think FF4 has too many good bosses that I need to add just like a goated tier. Because FF4 has too many of the best bosses in the series to have S plus be the highest tier. I think, okay, that color's not working with the, there we go. That looks more attractive. Nope, that still looks stupid. Purple. We'll go purple. Okay, that looks good. That's good. Yeah. Well, there are some bosses that are even better. But anyway, here's my story about CPU. So we moved to a new house, and we get 3 TVs, right? Because we game, and you know, if my dad wants to watch the football game, my brother wants to play. Freaking. Let's see, what does he play? This is not important. Let's say he's playing Starbound on the Xbox, and I'm playing Kingdom Hearts 1 on the PS3. So, yeah, we have 3 TVs, so we could do that. Now, the reason one of the reasons I just love CPU so much is because my TVs are CPU, attack, and defense. And I've just grown an attachment to this boss fight because we literally applied it to real life, which is funny. It is still a really good boss fight, though. I don't think objectively it's better than Calcabrina or Magus Sisters or Leviathan. But, like, I have an attachment to these guys, honestly. These, like, they're my TVs, bro. I wouldn't even be able to play video games and watch stuff without my man, the CPU. So, good boss fight. Odin in this game is pretty forgettable. I'm sorry, bro. We're putting you in C tier. Pretty mid version of Odin. I think FF3 did it better. No. Wait. Sorry, I was thinking of FF5. I am an idiot. Odin is good in this one. We'll put it top of B. Again, this is compared to FF4. I bet in terms of the whole series, Odin from FF4 would still be higher. I really think FF4 just has so many good boss fights, but it's a good version of Odin. I think it's the most intense version of Odin that in the series, at least that I fought so far. FF13 Odin exists. Never mind. That is one of my favorite bosses in the series, actually. FF13 Odin's epic. Anyway, Odin from this game, though, is good. Definitely better than 3 and 5. Sorry, I thought I was talking about 5. 5's is not that good. It's just, I think the evil King Baron thingy makes Odin just so much better that you get a little bit of plot with Odin. It just makes it a lot more memorable. Definitely one of my favorite iterations of Odin in the series. Bahamut, I like it a little better than FF3 because in FF3 you could just use a Dragoon and do like 100,000, like 200,000 damage with one hit and insta-kill Bahamut. Even as a kid, I insta-killed Bahamut, and I couldn't even beat the game as a kid. I still insta-killed Bahamut. This Bahamut, though, I'll throw in the C tier. I like the dungeon a lot more than I like Bahamut himself. I like going through and killing the behemoths, but the behemoths are easier than Bahamut. Most of the normal enemies are easier than Bahamut. Sorry, it's Bahamut. I should be saying it the right way, but, I've been singing Bahamut all these years because I'm an idiot. And it was never voice acted, so I never knew. Anyway. Okay, White Dragon goes in the E tier. I always forget this boss exists. It's not bad. Like, honestly, is it? I can't remember. Is it a rehash of the Mist Dragon? White Dragon FF? Can't really remember. Oh. Sorry, I'm intrigued. Or is it? No, I think it's more like the, what's it called? Dragon from. It's a little. Oh, yeah. It's like the Dark Dragon. Yes. The one that the Dark Elf summons. So it is a reskinned boss. It's not completely reskinned, but the fact that I always forget it exists is a pretty good sign that it's not my favorite boss. Dark Bahamut. I'd say without the build-up and the story context, I'm going to say D for Dark. Bahamut, I think it's fine, but, like, I know it's harder than normal Bahamut. Sorry. But it just isn't as memorable. You literally fight him in a treasure chest. Well, I think it's a pedestal, not a treasure chest, but still, it's not the best. Plague, I kind of like that we get, like, a little timed boss. I'll throw it in C. I think it's okay. It's like Ahriman from 3, but, like, it's called Plague. That's fine. So, it's fine. Not too great. Lunasaur, I'll throw in C as well. I'm actually going to put it above Bahamut. I think it's actually a bit challenging. It's kind of memorable. It's not too hard, but it's pretty cool. I think, if I remember correctly, it's a bunch of crazy status ailments on you, which is nice. I like getting hit with status ailments occasionally because it pisses me off, and then I feel good about beating the boss. However, Lunasaur is pretty unmemorable, unfortunately, so there's that. Ogopogo is another one I always forget exists. If I remember correctly, this is a reskin of Leviathan, and it sucks because it's literally just worse Leviathan. But saying worse Leviathan isn't the worst thing ever. I'll I'll put it right here, honestly. No, I'll put it right here. I'll put it right there. I mean, it doesn't have the emotional hit of Leviathan because, Leviathan's just cool. Ogopogo's just a random dude guarding a random thing. But, like, I mean, it's still a rehash of Leviathan. It's not a rehash of, like, I don't know, Helmet or, like, it's not a rehash of General and Baron soldiers or anything. Like, it's still a rehash of a good boss, but did we really need it a second time? Especially when you've already, like, aced your strategy the first time and it makes it super easy the second time. I don't really think so. Okay, I'm going to save, like, the super boss type things for the end. So, next we got Octomammoth. This is fine. I mean, I'll put it right there. It's fine. Like, it's the definition of just fine. Cast some thunder spells on it, it'll die. Yeah. Although it does have I'll put it above Plague. Cool design. Yeah. That's fair. And you have Tell in your party, so that's always nice. Yeah. Antlion. I like the Antlion, actually. It is pretty simple, but it does have that thing where it switches between aggressive mode and defensive mode, and that is actually interesting to me. So, you know what? I'll put Antlion at the bottom of B for now, so that's pretty cool. Mom Bomb. Here's another funny story. My dad and his siblings call my grandma Mom Bomb because of this game. That's funny. I mean, they don't always call it. They call it that when they're trying to, like, I don't know, roast her or something. But it's still funny. Like, I just love how some of my uncles, like, early Final Fantasy games are, like, such a part of their identity that, like, it's just weird. Definitely inherited that, so that's nice. But yeah, Mom Bomb will go at the bottom A so far. We've got a nice little bell curve going here. Hope to have a couple. Nope, there's not any more, like, bad bosses in this game, so this is gonna be less of a bell curve and more of, like, a freaking hatchet or something. But it's okay. Yeah, Mom Bomb is good. I think. Oh, the introduction to Yong is so gas. Ugh. I want to. Okay, you know what? I'm moving Rubicante down here because he's too cheesable. Then yeah, Mom Bomb. The introduction to Yong is so good. But I'm not gonna say. I can't say better than Dr. Liu Gay because that story element to it, or better than Demon Wall just because I freaking love those bosses that just have way more health than they ever need to, and it's just so fun. Like, I love when you fight a boss and it has like 2,000 health, and then the next boss in the game is like 80,000. I know it's never that dramatic, but actually Eternal Sonata does have some crazy jumps. Like, I think you fight like a 100,000 HP boss and then like a 2 million HP boss next. That's a pretty big jump, actually. Anyway, let's move on to the next one. Mom Bomb is great. Attack on Fabul. So I know a lot of people don't call this boss, but I think it's cool enough sequence that I wanted to talk about it. This is when, you go to Fabul and you fight a bunch of enemies in a row. And it's pretty nice. But not too good. But I just wanted to kind of say that, it's not like the worst thing in the game. I'm going to move Plague down to... Oh, I don't want to move Plague down to D. But I have to do the bell curve, bro. The bell curve. And then Asura will move down there. So move down there. Antlion will move here. There we go. I got to get that bell curve there. Because frankly, when you distribute data, you want to try to distribute data. I think anytime people make tier lists and it's just too front loaded, it makes it sound like you got to be relative. Anyway, I don't need to talk about freaking statistics. This is a Final Fantasy video. So yeah, I moved some stuff down. But Attack on Fabul, it's okay. It's pretty good. I kind of wanted to just say that it's not the worst thing in the game. It's kind of the idea of why I put it on here. But yeah, there we go. All right. We're almost to the end here. Scarmiglione, however the frick you pronounce that. That is shooting up right to the S tier for me. Freaking love this boss. I'm going to put it right there. Top of S tier. I love that you fight him, and then all of a sudden you go to leave, go to continue, and then he ambushes you from behind, and it's just way crazier of a boss fight. It's a cool two-phase boss fight where there's actually some like gameplay in between. That doesn't happen too much, to be honest. Like the ghost of him like pops up behind you. I think it's awesome. Not quite the epicness of the four Fiends or Golbez to me, or the emotional attachment of CPU, but I think Scarmiglione, or however the frick English works. Yeah, I think that's good. That's good. Baigen. Oh, this is. I think one thing that FF4 does so well is introduce its bosses. Like every time, there's something cool that happens. I mean, not every time, but like a lot of times, some crazy garbage happens right before boss fight. Like Baigen, it's like Lord Baigen has joined your party, and then you like freak out. Like as a kid, you're like, "What? How do I get 6 characters in this game?" And then you're like all excited, and then freaking Baigen stabs you in the back like an idiot, and it's crazy. Oh, also I'm moving that up. I'll move that up. Oh, there we go. That looks more right. That looks Baigen. Not Biden, not Joe Biden. I mean, they're pretty similar. Just kidding. That's a joke. We love old Papa Sleepy Joe. Next we've got Biden. Will it go? I think Biden will go right here. And I love Rubiconte's story, but he's just too cheesable. Oh my gosh, that is a perfect like bell curve right there. Look at that. There we got Baigen. Yeah, Baigen's nice. He's nice. He has 2 snakes for arms, and he pretends like he's going to join your party, and he doesn't, and that's funny. Dark. Oh wait. We'll go Dark Elf first. Dark Elf is goated. It's hard as heck. Edward comes and saves the day, and my first name is Edward, so I have a personal attachment to that. Also, Edward Edge. There's 2 people with the first name Edward in this game. Why? And why do you get them both in your party? But then the Dark Dragon. This is just a crazy intense boss fight, with some good cutscenes in the middle and all that jazz. You know, I'm gonna throw it up here and ruin the bell curve. Absolutely ruined it. It looks. I don't know. I just love that boss though. But don't worry, we're fixing it. With Cagnazzo, who will go... Okay. Go right there, and then we'll move up the Demon Wall, because I like the Demon Wall a little more than I have any right to. Cagnazzo is a great boss. You fight him soon after Baigen, and you have to spam Thunder and Blizzard magic to make sure he doesn't wipe you away in a death tsunami, which is cool. But he is a pretty easy, because you just figure out the strategy pretty fast, and then he goes down without much of a fight, because frankly, Tella is OP. So that's nice. Good stuff, good stuff. Alrighty. Next we've got Zero Miss. And this really depends on the version. Zero Miss in the 2D version sucks. Way too easy. Way too easy. It's like funny. Zero Miss in 3D versions, pretty good. But still, I don't even think Zero Miss is like even up there for me, honestly. Like in terms of Final Fantasy final bosses, it is easily one of the worst, like by a long shot. Let's see. I'm gonna go through them really quick. Chaos, awesome. The Emperor of Final Fantasy 2, absolutely goated. Zero Miss is okay. Zero Miss, nope. Zero Miss is not more fun than the Cloud of Darkness, and it also shows up kind of. So I mean, Zero Miss is not even better than Cloud of Darkness. Not even close to Neo X Death. Not even close to Kefka. Not even anywhere close to Sephiroth. Not even anywhere close to Ultimecia. Okay, maybe better than FF9. I will admit FF9's final boss is like 2 shots. So, okay. Of the first 10 games, and then Final Fantasy X. Final Fantasy X actually also has a pretty awful final boss. So, in the first 10 Final Fantasy games is the 3rd worst. And 13's awesome, 15's awesome, 12 sucks because the game's too easy at that point. So in the Final Fantasy series, it's one of the worst final bosses. That's what I'm trying to say. So I'm gonna put it honestly. I'm gonna put it right there. That's right. I put the final boss at the bottom of A tier. And I think I just made it sound like I hated it more. But for a final boss not being even near the top is sad. Most final bosses are at least they're usually in my top. They're usually like second place in Final Fantasy games. There's usually that one boss that outshines the final boss for me. But some games have a lot more than but this game, not even close to one of my favorite bosses in the game. And then we'll go with Zero Miss EG, who stands for Zero Miss Easy Game, which you're like, oh, it's going to be way easier than Zero Miss. And you're right. It is way easier than Zero Miss. But it has a gimmick. And that is, you're supposed to use all those grimoires you've gotten. And that is fun as frick, because you get to turn the quote-unquote hardest boss in the game into a pig, a frog, a dwarf. Just stop it from existing. It's so funny how easy this boss is that it's just fun. I'll throw it. It's so goofy and fun though. I'll put it right here, actually. I'll put it right here. It's not as like challenging or interesting of a boss as these ones, but it's just so funny how funny that boss is. So yeah, there we go. Okay. Brachioidos. That is a mouthful. We'll put that one right below the we'll put that one right there. It is a really hard boss or a really easy boss, depending on whether or not you use Kane's spear that uses Maelstrom. But this can be a crazily... I like this boss. I think I'll keep it with... I'll put it right above Zero Miss EG, because this can... They're both hard if you let them be hard, and they're both cheesable if you let them be cheesable, but this one is harder and more interesting. I just love Calcabrina too much. No, I don't love Calcabrina too much. I'm going to put Calcabrina right here. I think the music is kind of giving me some bias here. Now that looks dumb as heck, though. We're moving Demon Wall down to A. I think my obsession with Demon Wall is a little absurd, so we'll put it at top A. Okay. Yep, there we go. Brachioidos will go top S. So now you're probably wondering, Brighton, you're talking all about this dang bell curve like you're some freaking biology major. And you're probably like, well, that goated tier is looking kind of blank. Well, here we are, filling out the goated tier with the two 3D super bosses, which are both fun as frick. And Protobabble will go right here. Don't think it's quite as good as the Four Fiends fight. I love the Four Fiends fight. It's just, when you combine four great bosses into one fight, it's kind of hard to compare, you know. Protobabble slaps, though. It just slaps, dude. It's hard. Got to use a lot of strategy to figure it out. Even if you have all the best augments on, things that make you do like 64 times damage, this can still be a pretty hard boss. Like, even if you're doing 100,000 per turn, you might still get owned by this boss, and that is what I like to see. Now that I'm saying that, do I really like the Four Fiends better? Yeah, I still think I do. I know I like the challenge, but the Four Fiends, I feel like that's like a cop-out. Like, that's just too good. Yeah, Protobabble, though, great boss. One of my favorite super bosses of the series still. Glad it made a comeback in Final Fantasy Dimensions 2 as the main super boss. Alright, Guryon. In the past, I've always said I like Guryon better than Protobabble. Now that I'm thinking about it, I don't. No, I'm putting it right there. Here's the thing. Protobabble very much requires intricate strategy to not die. Whereas Guryon, you just go full force like a crazy person. I like both, but there's a very cool charm to going full force like a crazy person in a turn-based game. This is where the ATB system shines the best, in crazy hard boss fights where you have to actually be on your feet, on your toes the whole time. In Guryon, especially if you fight it in active time battle, you have to go crazy, especially if you crank up the speed. Action time battle, this boss is insane. And yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. Protobabble though is more of kind of just sitting there making calculated moves, which is still awesome. But I think there's a certain. Oh, now that I'm talking about this, I think Gurion's going to go on the top. I think Gurion has to go on the top. I think that fast-paced gameplay. This is like one of the peaks of one of the best ATB boss fights, just because it's got that flair to it, that speed that actually makes it feel like it's not only a turn-based battle system, but actually like an active time battle system like they always wanted. Whereas a lot of the games struggle to do anything too interesting with that. Like 5 has some hard bosses. 6, 7, yeah. 8 has a couple good ones. 9 has nothing good in terms of bosses. No offense, 9. The game's way too easy. But okay, Osmos still too easy. But anyway, yeah, Gurion is just epic. It's such a good fight. It's the definition of what the ATB system should be doing. So that's all I gotta say. Thank you all for watching this video. If you enjoyed this video, let me know your favorite bosses in Final Fantasy IV down below. If you've only played the Pixel Remaster or not the 3D version, I'm sorry that you should go play those, because frankly, they have the best bosses. You do have to play the game 2 times to fight Gurion and 3 times to fight Protobabble, but to be fair, it's pretty easy. After a first playthrough, you skip the cutscenes. Take you like, I don't know, I think it took me like 30 hours for the second and third playthroughs together, so you'll be fine. And it's fun. I mean, don't do back to back. Don't do back to back like I, or just download someone's save data and emulate it or something. Just do something like that. But anyway, thank you all for watching this video. Let me know down below your favorite bosses in Final Fantasy IV. Like, subscribe, smash that notification bell thingy, and tell me down below what you want to see next. And thank you all for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Peace out, Final Fantasy IV fans. Thanks to my good man Chemo for being a patron. If you want tons of exclusive RPG content, join now as a patron today.